Okay, today we're going to look at Springdel, Springmatic, the product, and its implementation and use of Android Enterprise to allow users to leverage the Google Play Store to manage their Android fleet of devices via the Google standards, and also deploy policies using the on-device Android native device policy controller. So when we go in, first log in, you have your UI showing all your different devices, the breakdown, security patch levels, etc. Going over to devices, you'll have different fleets. A fleet can consist of multiple types of devices. In enrollments, which is where you would create an enrollment for a Android Enterprise or any sort of product device enrollment that you need. You can select the Android Enterprise and give it a name. You select which associated Google Enterprise account you have. You pick which fleet you want. You can customize how you want the naming to be done. Confirm. And then a QR code is generated. This QR code would allow you to enroll the device. Alternatively, once you have the enrollment, you can edit it and add some additional things like Wi-Fi settings if you have like a local Wi-Fi network. And then this gets added into the enrolled QR code so that you can have a more seamless approach when you do the initial enrollment. To view information about where the Google account gets associated, it's over here. So in settings, there's a Google Enterprise tab. This is where you would associate your Google account. This would be the managed Google account that you want to use, which is what hooks into the Android Enterprise so that you can then enroll, manage, and then create profiles and access the Play Store and push applications to devices. If we look at the profiles, what profiles do is these are the policies that you create. These include what applications you want to be shown on the device. It also allows you to do things like create a kiosk mode, set security standards, and also customize network preferences. So all of this is part of the Android Enterprise stack that we offer. You can just give it a new name, new profile. We're just going to say profile name, just for example. In feature control, we have a lot of different Android Enterprise features. You can do things like disable camera or give the user the choice to allow or disallow the camera. You can also make it enforced, so the camera has to be enabled or the permission to use the camera is allowed. You can do locations. This is device side locations, so whether or not the device is allowed to have location be accessed. There's things like block USB file transfer, block Bluetooth, block factory reset. There's also the ability to block remote screen capture. So this would block any sort of remote screen recording software. In the applications, if we do the application control, you notice you get Google Play Store access. So you can go in and approve or disapprove certain applications so that the application then can be selected, done. And then if we go here and we select, then we can add it to the profile. There's also the ability to do manage configurations. So this is useful for things like OEM configs, useful for any application like maybe a Gmail or something where you need to set up a user email. You can pull this in. WhatsApp doesn't have this capability, but for certain apps like say an OEM config or something, you'd be able to set all of this up in the managed configurations. You can also blacklist apps, so you can blacklist which apps you don't want to be allowed on the device. So this could be a range, or it could be like a very long list of apps which you don't want the user to be able to run. So if there's certain things, communication apps, for whatever reason in your organization, you don't want this to run, you can block it. We also allow for a kiosk mode. So in the kiosk mode, by default, it's a single app, and you pick which application you want to run as a single app mode. If you want to run multi-app mode, just toggle here. The multi-app mode would then allow to display all of the applications in your app management stack. All of that would get displayed within the kiosk, and then the kiosk would be locked down on the device. You can't break out of it, and it only allows access to those applications. Things like the settings, the home screen, all of that is locked away in the device. There's also some additional security parameters that we have. So we can do most of the things which adhere to the Android Enterprise standards. All of this is available. You can get usage logs, usage policies. You can do things like block developer settings or allow developer settings depending on what your need. And you can also do things like create password policies. Like if the minimum length of a password needs to be 8 characters long, we can also enforce that onto the device. So once that's all that's created and you're good, you can go and associate and publish with the fleet. Okay. And then once it's available in the fleet, then you'd be able to see from the fleet the associated profiles and the devices that are enrolled with this fleet. Anything updated onto the device would then get applied within usually about a minute, depending on network availability. But assuming the device is online and ready to receive these updates, then the policy would then be applied back down. So very brief, just want to do a quick run through and a quick update of what we're doing with Android Enterprise, and hopefully it can work for your organization. Thank you very much.